Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to episode 45 of the RaptorStrike podcast. Today is a very special episode. We have Mr. Chingo Bling.
Chingo Bling with the big tamarindo, the ghetto vaquero, el rey de foreplay. Versace mariachi.
Yes, sir.
The masa messiah, tamale kingpin, masa dealer. Cabrón, espérate. Hey, 20 minutes later, El rated foreplay.
All right, now we'll start the podcast. After he's done.
That's going to be the whole episode. Just keep going.
Puro shout outs, yeah.
Yeah.
AKA Mr. AKA Mr. RaptorStrike.
RaptorStrike.
I thought you were going to say torta pounder.
AKA Mr. Torta to the dome.
So this is actually, I don't know if you remember us from last time, but we actually met you a year ago.
At the show, right?
At the show. So I actually have that picture pulled up.
Let's see.
Let's see it.
There we are.
Yes, sir.
That was right after the show. I believe it was the Saturday show. And, man, everybody was just tired. I remember y'all were just done.
Y'all were exhausted.
Yeah, man. No, coming into this show, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
But hopefully, you know, we'll crank up the energy for sure. It's good to be here. Good to be back in, my second home. And I literally just drove in, did another podcast. I haven't checked into my hotel yet, but yeah, once we settle in and everything, it's gonna be lit.
Nice,
yeah, man.
Nice.
But
todo rosado,
from the seat, your thighs touching.
Oh, stressed out. No.
You gotta stretch it out. Gotta unpeel for a little bit.
Yeah. The worst ones on that is when you're doing.
It's
if you're traveling cross country, I mean, shit. For me, I don't like stopping. Like once you're on the road. Either you have your snacks, you have your drink, you went to the bathroom, vete, let's go.
Everybody got their pee cup.
We're going, okay? It may be
Cross
small,
country?
but angle it, okay?
What's the furthest road trip you done?
From Tampa, Florida, back here to San Antonio.
Oh, wow.
And I did that in
13, 14?
No,
17, 18?
19 hours.
Yeah, I was calculating Houston.
Yeah. You did that in a U-Haul too, right?
Yeah, that one was in a U-Haul. But I've done that trip back and forth about 4 times. And one of them I did straight because like the company card shut off. And I was like, I'm not paying for no hotel. So I just kept on driving. And it becomes that like you get your superpower where you start singing to keep yourself awake, and you start blinking, and all of a sudden the car that was a mile down is right in front of you. It becomes that. But
be careful.
You push yourself sometimes a little too far. But in that sense, we're all entertainers, right? And like you said, you have your traveling schedule. You have you're trying to pump up that energy. You want the crowd to be. I mean, from the spectator side, when we were in the crowd, you couldn't tell that y'all were tired.
Okay,
you couldn't tell, and it was great. It was a great show. We loved it. I mean, from when Juan went on stage, and from everybody else, excuse me, I forgot their names.
Javi Luna was one of them.
There we go.
Shout out Javi Luna.
Every guy just had everybody laughing, and of course, you get to the after. We met y'all, we talked, and it's like you could see it, but we understood. You're pushing through it. This is your job. This is your dream. And that's one thing that we talked about is, where does RaptorStrike, coming from the automotive scene, from the charity events, from the different things that we do, how does that coincide with Chingo Bling? And it's the way I put it is it's Latinos just going out there and chasing your dream. And it's not easy. Like
all gas, no brakes.
There it is. Now, the biggest thing for me is just, what makes Chingo Bling? Like what sparked that dream of I'm gonna be a comedian, and you know what, I'm gonna go out and do it. Like, don't tell me no, I'm just gonna go.
Well, in the beginning, it's just not wanting to have a real job and a boss. That's really what it all boils down to in the beginning. And then in present day, it's it's a little bit more complex. You have more purpose. You got a family. Your vision might be a little bit more clear. We're hoping, right? After years, hopefully I'm a year wiser than the photo y'all just pulled up. But
same for us.
But yeah, just little by little, just clarifying and kind of like knowing the direction of what it is exactly, our legacy, what we want our legacy to be, and what we're really trying to get out the game. What are we really trying to do? And I still don't want a boss, and I still don't want like a regular I mean, it's hard work what we do, but it's sometimes you want a regular job.
Yeah.
So, right. Sometimes you do,
Yep.
where it's just like, man, I'll take a boss right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the boss.
Someone
right
to take those hits for you.
or just like, hey man, tell me what I got to do, type of thing,
Mhm.
and just have a little bit of like normalcy and structure instead of like moving, going, traveling, coming, going. I don't know. Hey dude, for your birthday, you around? Man, I don't know, though. I gotta check the thing. I might be
Yeah.
on a plane somewhere,
Mhm.
trying to get home or something.
Yeah, I used to do something that we talked about was we started out as a shop.
Mm-hmm.
And I know similar for you is if you do bad, you know it was kind of your fault. If you do good, you know it's because of you. And that's one of the things of having your own being that entrepreneur, you're doing your own thing, you don't have a boss. If it's bad, it falls on you. If
Take
it's
the
good,
risks, right?
it's bigger the risk, bigger the reward, and it comes with that. And it's not the person cubicles 3 down messed up and now everybody's in trouble. And that's one thing I liked about having the shop, and like you said, not having a boss, is I know the success was because I worked hard for it. We worked hard for it. And similar with us transitioning over to social media, doing the YouTube, and our main dream isn't to be YouTubers. I wouldn't say it's to be, like you said, our own boss. We're doing what we like. We're not working to live or living to work. We're working to live. There's a different structure of it, and similar dealing with comedy. You want to make people feel good, and that's something that we have as a theme that comes up a lot. Is this is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of resources.
Why do you think I don't have a podcast?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I'm on your podcast.
No, and that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And because you understand what goes on behind the scenes, and to set it up, and to make the time to sit there,
being
and
consistent, coordinating guests,
Yeah.
where the clip's at, is the episode up?
Yeah, and it turns into that, for us and for me, I guess I'll let the guys speak to that, because as you can tell, I usually hug the mic. But it's if our stories, we've had mental health episodes, and we talk about the struggles of trying to keep up with this, and it's our main thing is, if we've helped you, if we've given you a tool to use to be able to try to chase your dream, or if you're having a bad day and you cracked a grin, you cracked a smile, or you just like exhaled out of your nose really heavy, it makes it all worth it.
You did the.
What do y'all do? What do y'all do for like those stressful days, those mental health days, where you want to slap somebody?
Watch internet memes until
Until I fall
huh?
asleep. My biggest thing is the gym. So I like to say I'm a gym goer in disguise. You couldn't tell, right?
Like weights?
Weights.
Okay.
So I was a power lifter.
Oh, nice.
I used to do powerlifting in high school and in college a little bit.
That's badass.
But that's my escape,
Hell
is getting all that out, or even like big stressful times, like when we're getting ready for an event or something's happening at work. That's where I go to just think about it. I'm on the treadmill or I'm between sets. You got to have somewhere that you can just relax, but also somewhere where you can build and you can think.
That third place, because you got home, work, but you need that third place.
You
For
always
some
need that
for
third
some
place.
people, it becomes like the bar at the VFW. That becomes their third place in between work and home. But yeah, no, I was curious because Juan and I, we stopped at the PF. I'm talking about Planet Fitness real quick, and we probably did like a little 25-minute, little quick. De volada, estás en chinga. You know what I mean? Just because, like, I mean, you gotta blow off steam, and that's like my therapy, like jujitsu class. When I can make it to jujitsu class, that's a real good therapy, because I don't know, like maybe more so for dudes, maybe the way we're wired, but sometimes, like, I mean, jujitsu isn't striking, but like sometimes you want to hit something. Like I be wanting a heavy bag, bro, where I'm just like, dog. It's one of those days, man, where you just want to like...
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! KO! Here's the cover!
Let out all your frustration, like everything you can, to just like, to where you exhaust that energy. Like little kids, you got to get them tired. So yeah, man, I was just curious, because some people like therapy, stuff like that, but that gym, like I told Juan, I was like, we just did our therapy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get tired. You take your mind. You get the endorphins. You're breathing. You're sweating. Or in the case of jiu-jitsu, you know, your homeboy aggressively cuddling with you.
Yeah.
You know, your pajama wrestling. Yeah. Two people yoga happening, but it's a good escape.
Mm-hmm. No, what about you? What's your escape?
Yeah, I'd like to say that working on the truck is my escape, but that stresses me out too. Yeah, you're dealing with that one bull, man, Chingo, and I call him up, and then now we're both pissed off because we both can't do it. Mine always revolves around cars, just going for a drive and just cruising along. You find that long underpass that you can just let the exhaust rip, and I wish I could say, you know, going out to the track, but we do that sparingly because, you know, the track's not always open for the trucks. But it's one of those things of those big events. You get that mix of emotions and of just, you know, you're nervous, and now you're getting into the truck, and I have a sticker in there that my mom picked out, and it says, it's on the passenger side, but it's on the dash, and it says, drive safe, love mom. And it doesn't say dad because dad's like, well, you pay for it. You know, if you break it, you buy it. But it's one of those things of you're getting more comfortable. You want to get better at it, and you just push yourself to do more and more and more. And it's just the great thing about it is just getting to meet people, hear their stories, and community. Yeah. And so it
like-minded people.
Yeah. And so, I mean, even with Juan and with you coming out to be on the podcast, it's just, there's so many things that have happened simply because we put ourselves outside of our comfort zone. Mm-hmm. And you know, I don't like my picture taken. I don't like hearing my voice. I don't like seeing myself on TV or like on the camera on a video.
So you started an audio video podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's I gotta say, as stressful as it is, it's been a very beneficial for all three of us because it makes us do things we don't want to do, and some of the greatest things come right after that.
Facts.
That what is it? At the end of fear is
faith.
Yeah.
You know, this is actually the best thing that I could have done.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's facts, yeah. I can attest to that. I mean, being a shy person and then getting into show business, I mean, and like just having to bite the bullet, like stand-up takes a while to get good at. So you're having to like learn in front of people, bite the bullet. And then in my case, learn in front of people and they might know who you are or they have a certain expectation. So yeah, I agree, dude. Or even like my jiu-jitsu hobby. It's like for the first year, you're just getting demolished. You just don't know what to do, how to escape, you're just like, you know, somebody's on top of you. You're
just trying to survive.
Yeah, somebody's on top of you. They're choking you. Or they got a hold of your arm. Hey, dude, how'd you get a hold of my arm so easy? You had your arm out. You know what I mean? So what do I do? You know, keep them tucked. You know, T-Rex, elbows tight. Okay. You know, you try to remember, and then, you know, and then later it starts to click.
Yeah, we were talking about that just after the last podcast. We went outside. We're like, what's something we can do? Like, what's something productive? And then we thought about it. And we're like, you know what? We're going to teach you how to drive manual. Yeah. And similar how you're saying with the jiu-jitsu, you're sometimes you overthink it. Just like you said, how did you grab my arm? Well, you had it sticking out. Yeah. So the same thing is, you know, when we did with him, is just, you know, he asked, is it hard to do? I said,
we just shoved him in my car and said,
do it. It is hard to do if you make it hard. Yeah, because then you're thinking about it and you're like, okay, I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to release the clutch. I go, if you just relinquish that and just listen to what we're saying and then you just do, it's fine. But things go wrong when you're actively thinking about it because your body knows more than you give it credit for. So all that muscle memory and I'm just gonna let it go. But if your brain's if you're in there with your brain, you're that alien that's like hitting all the buttons on the UFO and pinche things just flying around everywhere. But
how many repetitions did you do to start to?
For which one?
For the learning the.
I think it took a while, right, to try to get it down.
You probably did it about 30 times.
30 times?
Yeah.
Because I think it started with, he was like death gripping.
Yeah.
And so Sal
correcting.
So I was just like, do not grab the stick, just palm it back and forth.
That I needed time to get used to because you see it in Fast and Furious, right, where they go through like 15 gears before they get to reverse. So immediately I went like really stiff. He's like, no, don't do that. Palm it, just push it, just go each gear.
The transmission knows where it needs to go. You just got to push it into there.
Mm-hmm. And I got it moving once, so. Hey,
See, that's some black belt shit right there.
Yeah.
Like the professor.
Basically Jackie Chan.
And that's how we learn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it feels good to learn new things.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. I know that's right. I wish I knew about cars, though.
Yeah?
Because I'll be running into issues. Yesterday, I thought I was a mechanic. I was under the car. And that's one thing I like about jiu-jitsu is a lot of times you're on your side and it's all on the ground.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like my dad was a body man for many, many years, like working on cars. So I'd always see him on the side, things like that. So when I started doing the jiu-jitsu stuff, but just in general, like it's very comfortable for me, like because my hands are free. Like anything, my wife makes fun of me because she'll be like, hey, I'm trying to build this rack for the clothing thing for the boutique, and then she'll probably be bending down, messing with something. I'm on my side. I'm down there. She's like, it's not a car. Why do you do that? It's not a car. You want to be a mechanic so bad. It's so weird. Why are you doing that? Well, it's not a car. And I was like, I know it's not a car. I was like, however, you know what I mean? Like, it feels comfortable.
It's
I can
natural.
move. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like in jiu-jitsu, I'm getting in that groove where that's playing a role. Like there's some shit you could do where, excuse my language, I know we're on YouTube, but like somebody might be on top of you, and there's a way you can like escape, almost like through the back door. You know what I mean? You're escaping a certain way, but you got to be comfortable moving on the ground, type of thing.
That makes sense. No,
So
I mean,
I feel like I'm sliding out of a car.
we should probably show pictures of when we put this table together. You're on and like you said, you're on the ground.
On your side.
If you drop it, the only thing falling is this because you're already on the ground. So to protect your face, protect your face.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. No, I will say these two dudes know way more than I do about cars. They're basically mechanics. They taught me everything that I know.
Hardly.
Hard.
Man, I know nothing. I know nothing.
Well,
I just be guessing. My wife knows more. That's the funny thing, because her father, rest in peace, he had two girls, right? My wife and her sister. So he made sure that they were like independent and like, Mika, like you gotta have these tools and this is how you change this, and if this happens to you and you by yourself and if I'm not around, type of thing. And so she's always the one that's like, you didn't hear that? You didn't hear that? You're driving around like that? I was like, what? She's like, you don't know that the front right tire is you gotta change both of them, Pete. You gotta get two new ones because you're gonna have a whatchamacallit, and you didn't feel that. Wait, she'll hold the steering wheel and she'll be like, yeah, I knew it. No, because if it does this, you don't feel that? You don't feel that?
We talked about that last episode, the butt dyno. Hey, what's that noise?
Wait.
You don't feel that?
Butt dyno.
Butt dyno. It's you become one with the vehicle. You become one with the machine, and you're like, hold on a minute.
When you're feeling it.
Is it shaking? Is it shaking left to right, forward to back?
Do you know what a dyno is? So can you explain what a dyno is?
I thought you were talking about dinosaur.
No, that's what I said.
Do you have the picture from or can you bring it up on Google?
Of a dyno?
Yeah, of the just put dyno, DYNO.
Yep.
Dynamometer.
You explain it better.
So when you dyno a car, when you put a car on a dyno, it's really just meant to measure its power. So it's like a pair of rollers. You just put the wheels that are driven on the rollers, and then you just floor it, and it'll tell you how much power you make. But what car guys call the butt dyno is you just kind of get in the car and you feel it out. And it's like, oh yeah, it makes about 300 horsepower. Oh, it makes about 600.
This is a dyno.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You strap it down. You throw some fans. That way it
it doesn't overheat.
Yeah, the car thinks it's moving, and so that's how you tell. It's got two drums that are underneath the rear tires, and once you put it in gear and you just do a pull, you go from 2,000 RPM to red line, and it'll do all the calculations for you. But we call it the butt dyno is when you're sitting in the seat and you're driving and you feel that play in the steering wheel and you're like, hold on,
That is not supposed to be there.
Something's not right. You know, something's not right.
You can like just the advanced understanding of sensing and
yeah,
knowing.
of being around. It's another one. Just like you know when a joke's about to hit, and you also know when it's about to bomb. So you got to try to think of something fast. It's that same thing of the repetition. The more you do it, the more you're feeling the vehicles, and then you get to notice that it's the same across. It's the same for a truck, for a car, for a larger truck, you know, a minivan. You're gonna feel all those same things.
All those little cues.
Yeah.
Where you start to sense.
Exactly.
So,
that's very interesting.
So it's one of those extra things of, okay, you've been around it enough, and it's like, oh, something's wrong. You know, Juan and I have a cousin that I call him Sensei because that guy, you can put him on speaker and just put him near the car.
Oh, wow.
And he'll tell you, on the passenger seat, the third stitch to the left is broken. Like, how do you even know that?
Someone left the Mountain Dew in the trunk. It's like, what?
And there's
half
some
drink too.
No, I'm still dynoing right now.
Yeah.
That's not your issue. I'm just telling you what I dyno.
Someone left half a Snickers, and it dropped in that void right in between the glove box and or the center console and the seat. Yeah, no, he was, you know, he's been working on cars since he was a kid, and it's gotten to that point where if I can't figure something out, I give him a call, and I quite literally just put him on speaker, and he's like, oh, well, okay, remove all the spark plugs, do this, that. He's like, it's going to suck, but it's going to work. I'm like, okay, if that's what you said what it is, I'm not going to question it.
Well, I got some stuff in my vehicle I need to show y'all before the weekend's over.
well, bring it out.
Speaking of sensing things, like in the jiu-jitsu world, like a lot of black belts, they've been doing it so long and they're so advanced, their understanding of the game and physiology of the human body, mechanics of how you can, you know what I mean, what you need to do. And a lot of times, like I've heard this and I've seen it firsthand, where you might ask the instructor something like, hey, if I were to grab here, couldn't he, you know, shouldn't I be able to escape this way if I, whatever. And then a lot of times they'll be like, well, let me get in there. Basically, let me feel it. So they get in there. Oh, yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Because, look, you see this arm right here, whoop-de-woo. You know, his center of mass, we're perpendicular. Yeah, it wouldn't work. You know, they have to kind of feel it.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. They got to be in the motion to, okay, yeah, you can do that. Or
need to feel it.
Yeah.
Need to feel it. Like, you know.
And they'll tell you what you can do, what can work or what won't
with their
work.
eyes closed. Yeah, they feel what that other person's doing. It's like a dance. You know, they're leading, like they're reacting. It's like you're being someone's shadow, but you're still first. I'm shadowing you, but I'm first.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, and it's the same thing for music. You know, Sal and I used to do mariachi. He would play guitarron and I would play trumpet. And for the trumpet players, you're listening. It's hard because, of course, you're performing and everything's loud, but you're listening for the guy next to you to breathe. That's your cue. If they're the lead trumpet player, you're waiting for your people with the mics and everything. You can't hear it, but we're trained, and there's times where they would put us back to back, and it's like, okay, start playing at the same time. Don't start counting. Don't start. Don't tap. Don't nothing. You're just gonna listen for the inhale. And that's how you know when to start playing. And
that's like the...
Yeah. Without... And they would have you practice that without the metronome, without the tapping. And it's like, don't cue, don't do nothing except for breathe. And it comes with that. You do these things enough times, you start tuning your body. You can start hearing things. You can start feeling things. It's all the same.
And it even lends itself to like stand-up comedy. You know, some dudes that are just advanced, a lot of experience in a variety of scenarios and situations. You know, they might get a heckler and they'll don't know how to address it, or they can sense. Or here's a better example. I'll use the term black belt, but like a black belt comedian, right? Just somebody advanced. They could be up there, and I would argue that, you know, they're listening so intently while they're speaking that they're able to time things a little bit better and even like almost like analyze the laughs. Because there's a difference between like a pity laugh. I know what you did there laugh. Oh, I get it. You're doing your impression of a comedian right now. You're doing your comedian thing. Ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? And then there's like, oh my God, did he just say whatever? or you'll even hear the relatable laugh, or like that one like embarrassing drunk lady laugh, like that. Because it's almost like they sound guilty, like you. Depending on what you're talking about, it's like, oh, she's been there, or like that was a laugh from like firsthand experience, you know?
Yeah.
So like you're hearing all these laughs, but you're timing them out, and you're analyzing like, you know,
how did or you know, I would say from your stand up that we attended last year, one of the funniest things that we laughed collectively the hardest about is when you mentioned the audience and you're like, I know most y'all are construction. I saw all of y'all looking up and like, give me a ladder right now and I'll fix that, or I'll leave my
Can't
card
wait
with
to give
it.
me your business card.
Yeah.
It was really funny because all three of us looked up because he does construction.
Oh yeah,
I do
Oh,
AV.
okay.
And then he does audio. So all of us, I looked at the lights, he looked at the speakers, he looked at the walls.
Yeah, we're like, why'd they do that? Or they should have had a drop ceiling.
We did
Exactly.
So
AV is audiovisual.
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So he designed the studio. He does that professionally.
I
Designed.
built TV studios.
Damn, dude.
Which one can we note?
I can't talk about the one right now.
Well, of course
on
not.
stream. I can talk about it after. But I've done the city of Wichita Falls, city of San Antonio.
And this is like a studio they have like where? If
Like-
it's Wichita Falls.
So
They're newsrooms,
city,
right?
yeah, not newsrooms. So like the city chambers, right? They have a TV studio. So where they bring in the
public
mayor,
proceedings in there?
yes.
Okay.
So like in McAllen, there's a whole TV studio inside of the public information office that they bring in the mayor, they bring in the city councilman, and then we also did their chambers. So where they do their council meetings, you set up the lighting, you set up the audio, you do the sets. So like if you see the big metal stills, that's what I do too. I do the install. I've also done like workflows. So have you ever heard of BattleBots?
I think so. Yeah,
Where
yeah.
all the robots kind of try to kill each other, basically.
Yeah.
I did the live workflow for that. So I built the control room. I set up the cameras with my coworkers, of course. But things like that, that's my background. So whenever I go into a venue, I look at everything that's
Man,
up there.
I'm gonna need a consultation, bro.
Hey, if you need some, let us know.
I'm gonna take pictures and stuff and send them to the wife and be like, see,
Yeah.
need somebody come over here and fix the shit right.
We put this together in 1 month, or actually less than 1 month, because it
We
became
were around the middle of the month and we were like, we need to do this.
because it became the either we do it now or it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, no, great
And
job.
so we you know he put together, he drew it out. He was this is the idea, and we originally I wanted like an LED like the neon sign, but I was like, man, everyone's going to the neon sign. So that's actually a custom rug from Bandito Rugs. We sent him the logo. He made it for us, and everything else was just. I want to call it the budget build for a studio.
Yeah.
you know, we had the TV and all of the equipment because we had other business ideas, and we just put everything back together. And
It's legit, dude.
well, appreciate it. We're glad you like it.
Yeah,
they're about to do Chingo Bling Studio.
Yeah.
There we go. Powered by RaptorStrike. So we've made the offer for Raptors and Rifles. They're a nonprofit, and they're starting their YouTube channel, and they're doing a podcast because people want to know about the veterans they've sponsored and the different events they're putting together. And so they gave us a call because we're one of their sponsors. And he's like, I don't want to step on any toes, but we're going to start a podcast. I know that's your territory. I'm like, that's not.
I know that's your lane, brother.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I don't.
Kiss the ring.
We're all in the same lane, man. The main thing is you need help. We're there. I go, but you're asking the wrong guy. I need to get these guys to tell you what we have because I got a mic and
You're
I got
like,
a headset.
I'm just a
Headphones,
talent.
Yeah.
He's the news anchor.
So there it is. Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
So I need y'all to brainstorm how, like, this would be a cool setup for my living room. However, we would have to persuade my wife, like, hey, like, I know you have this vision of, like, just having a regular living room, like normal families.
I actually have something for that. So we tried doing this in 2020 or 2020, right? Remember the couch episode? And I'll show you where we started.
Yeah, because the podcast that she and I do sometimes, it's called Cafecito Time. So like if it could be, imagine, are you familiar with Chip and Joanne Gaines?
Chip and Joanne.
Well, you don't gotta look them up. I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
So it's like these home designers. They're out of Waco. They're like fixer-upper people. They had a TV show on HGTV, but now they sell all these products like at Target. They have their housewares and rugs and candles and stupid shit. But like, in other words, like if it, no offense, if it looked like this, I would love this. But she'd be like, I don't want my living room looking like anime mechanic RaptorStrike living room. You know. But if we could like hypothetically like make it look like Chip and Joanne Gaines, Magnolia Farms, a home living room.
So
she'd be like, "Oh, this is a cute living room."
I'm sure he can put together a design.
Just make everything white. And like,
So it would be, so that would be mostly like set design, right? So it would be like, what do y'all like? So if you want that
coffee,
if you want coffee, we put like a
family,
coffee maker or something on the set, or something where it'll be functional, so you can pour yourself a cup of coffee while you're talking, you know. And in the background, you change the lighting. So right now we have red, right? That's just the backdrop, but we do like oranges and yellows, so it's warmer, and it makes it feel like
pumpkin spice.
Exactly. It makes it feel warm and cozy. And then for the lighting, like right now we have it not daylight, but it's kind of in the middle. You would do a warmer color, so it warms up your skin tones. It warms up your,
Feels more homey.
yes. And it's not like so you have tungsten, you got daylight, right? Tungsten is your orange light. Your daylight's your blue, your white blue. If you do white blue, you're gonna look like a hospital. Like if we
Too
were to
clinical,
turn that, it'll look clinical. So you want it like tungsten, which is like 3,800 Kelvin, which is, that's the temperature, right? So like if you want to do it in your living room, 100%, you can make it look homey. You can make it look cozy.
And then I could, because I got a bunch of like mics and stuff, but it'd be dope if it could be like, all right, so are you okay with leaving this in the living room and just leaving it set up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be like, bro, if I could persuade her to do that.
So if you do the living room the way you want it, and like the way you want it, like day to day, it's just your living room, right?
Dude, we're never in there. Nobody ever. There's the kids.
It's just a room.
I mean, there's like sofas and like a fireplace. That's it. We haven't put a TV up yet. We haven't done none of that stuff.
If you put lighting like on stands, you can easily like, because you would like put it on the ground, like where everything's going to be, everything's preset. So all you would do is, say you have people over, you need the living room, you just take the lights out. Yeah. That's all you need to do. You can leave the accent lighting, it'll look nice. You can leave everything the way it is. So if you want your living room to be a living room at some point, just like it's not a whole set, right? You just take out the lighting.
Yeah. And then just mark the floors. That way, once you bring them back, like the feet go right here.
Same thing with the cameras.
Yeah, that's how we have those set up over there as pieces of tape. So if we ever do move them, we can put them back exactly where they were. But I mean, again, the talents behind all of the tech, all of the set design are these two guys right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they hit the nail on the head with the hammer pretty damn good. I know it's darker, but again, if there's something that y'all would like, or if we can talk.
Yeah, I mean, even the size of the table.
So one thing that we were thinking of doing is like drilling a hole right in the center, so that way once we're working, because like you said, you do your podcast, you do your scene, and then back to normal. We'll put it back to normal, and then we can like push all the mics to the center. We have our laptops out, and then we have just a meeting of what are the next things that we're doing, and so you're working it, you're making it work for you compared to now I have all this clutter. Yeah. So our main thing is we constantly change the set, so we didn't do the hole in the center. That way we can just move the wires out of the way, or we can plug and unplug our laptops quickly. But the main thing is once we get a more permanent studio, then we can start hard mounting things. We can put things on the ceiling, and that way it's easier for us to just move around. Because really we started with Walmart, the plastic folding tables with a cloth over it, and that was the we're gonna start this,
and nobody knew just until now.
Nobody knew.
But the only thing that would give it away is like if we'd move and bam, we hit it, and everything
The whole
would
table.
You have the
So,
middle legs.
yeah. So, but the other thing was just it was okay. It's the introductory. We're gonna try it, and then we continue. Then we'll start upgrading, and then
of course. Yeah.
then we started doing shows. We started doing car shows, anime conventions, comic cons, and now you got the little trophies from the different shows and that we've placed at, and photos of celebrities that we've done interviews with out at a comic con, and just photos of events and things that we've done, and it starts to grow, and you're like, okay, now you have this is our what do you call it, the banner for
YouTube banner.
the YouTube
This
banner.
picture?
That's actually on the track. They had closed down the track for lunch, and we asked them like, hey, can we go on the track, take a picture so we can have, and it's just it goes back to that original. Everything happened because we finally decided to just do it.
Yeah, you're pursuing your passion, and people are gonna resonate with it, and you it's like your vibe is your tribe. You know what I mean? Like you tap into community and you start finding like-minded individuals. Like I keep going back to my hobby, jiu-jitsu, but it's cool because I'm like tapping into a whole community. Like I'm here in San Antonio, but I'm gonna be popping into 2 different gyms out here, networking, learning, making friends, learning some new shit. But you tap into that community, so
Yeah.
It's always good.
So what got you into jiu-jitsu? I remember you mentioning it at your show, and you'll mention it like on some of the interviews I've seen with you. What got you into it?
My wife. It was a safety issue.
Self-defense.
The issue was she didn't feel too safe. No. And ever since I got my blue belt, she's like, "Ooh, I feel like I could talk shit to everybody now." You know what I mean? Hey, lady, I'm still built like an 8th grader. Yeah. But I really do thank her for like getting me into it, because she already was attending that gym, Urban Jungle in Houston. So she would go in there. I think she was like in college at the time or something. But she was already familiar with that gym. Like she knew about the cardio kickbox and whatever. I think she even did jiu-jitsu too. And by the time she and I linked up, she was into bodybuilding at that time. So she was like, all right, I hate doing cardio. I know a place. Basically, there's this gym I used to go to. I'm going to go back. And then she'd be like, you should come with me. It would be like a Saturday morning class, or hey, come with me to this cardio kickbox thing. And you're like holding pads, or you're like throwing knees and shit. But I was like out of shape rapper, about to start doing stand-up comedy, just little, pot smoker, eating junk food. So I was just like, oh man, this is really hard, but it's kind of cool. And then she would tell me, she'd be like, oh look, they do jiu-jitsu upstairs. You should check that out. They ever think about trying that out? And I'd be like, that looks intimidating. Like that's a lot. You know what I mean? Y'all, I don't know what y'all doing. That looked like extra shit that I got to work up to. But I was curious, and eventually I was like, okay, I'll try it. I'll test it out. Like, wait, are you signing me up? Like a little kid. But yeah, it was a rude awakening where it's like, oh shit, it's like a different language where you're like, hey, do you know how to fall? And it's like, what? What do you mean? It's like, well, first we got to show you how to fall. You know what I mean? Like, because it's all mats and stuff, and we might be practicing a little throw, and you got to know how to like break your fall, and just things that are like things that they teach the kid. Like my 6-year-old, she's in it now. My 3-year-old, I'm gonna put her in ASAP as soon as she's like all the way potty trained and can follow instructions and shit. But that's stuff that they teach the kids, and I'm like, here I was like, how old was I then? I might have been like 40 or something, 42 or some shit. Like old ass man, no new tricks. You know what I mean? Old dog, can't touch your old dog, new tricks. And it's like, oh fuck, this sucks. Like I'm learning what the kids are learning. Like I'm literally starting at the beginning. And literally for the first like year, it felt like easily. I mean, some people probably catch on sooner, quicker than me. But like literally, it had to be at least the first 6 months where it's like I don't know what to do. Like someone's on top of me. Like what do I do, bro? Like, you know, they're just like trying to walk you through it. It's like, but I can't escape. It's like, cause you're doing jujitsu to me, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, little by little, it's like, oh, okay, I know what to do, or I know a little bit of that, or I know a little bit of this, a little bit of that. One choke here, one arm bar there, one escape here. He's little by little start putting it together, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest, like, I guess, what you've seen help you from learning jiu-jitsu? Because, like, with martial arts, like, I did karate a long time ago, but it instills, like, discipline, right? So what's the biggest things that you've learned from jiu-jitsu?
Let me see. Man, so many things. If I had to give you one off the top of my head, man, there's just so much, bro. Like something that I like to apply. Well, for the most part, it's just like a fun, cool, new thing that like that the time that I spend looking at something on YouTube or listening to a podcast about it or reading a book about it, like, you know, that's just, you know, it's just a fun new hobby, like to be old but find something new that you're like, oh my god, dude, why I wish I would have gotten to this sooner. And like, because the first time I signed up, I like quit and then went back years later, and then the people who never quit, the people who were there, like I met them at the old location because the gym moved the first time I signed up. And it's like, now these dudes are like purple belts, all badass, teaching the kids classes. I'm like, damn, bro, I started with you, fool, you know, but I fell off, dog. I went the wrong route, homie. Started hanging with the wrong people, carnal, you know. Had to take a little vacation, man. But hey, you're doing good though, fool. But yeah,
Nice.
you know.
So where do you see, like, go? I heard, like, you say you were a blue belt. Where do you see yourself going? Do you keep going? Where do you want to go in jiu-jitsu?
In a perfect world, bro, like it's so fun and addicting. It's like a cult. It's so fun that it's one of those things where it's like, man, because you'll find like jiu-jitsu accounts, like IG accounts. It's like an old lady, like grandma just got her black belt, and she started when she was, 61, or now she's 72, but she's a black belt, whatever. So it's one of those where I like to say, like, man, as long as my body can hold up, like as long as I'm able to do it, I would love to be able to do it. I would love to be able to teach it, even if it's to like my kids or to a friend or help out with something. I mean, as it is, sometimes like you might have somebody brand new off the street and you're having to kind of like catch them up where they're like, hey, what they got us doing right here? Like, what am I supposed to be doing? Oh man, look, dude, just focus on this, Yeah. Or what you're doing wrong is wooty woo,
Focus on falling.
Yeah.
Focus on falling.
You know how to fall, dog?
Yeah.
You got to learn that first.
Because you're about to learn.
Yeah. Learn, fool.
No, and even at that, the new experiences, when y'all are available, like I said, we need to get you and Juan out there to the track, or hell, the whole family.
Yeah, exactly.
And just everybody hop in and do a round. We'll show you a video here after we end here of just all the stuff you can go through. And we jump the truck, so it catches air, and
It's been about this high off the ground.
yeah, it's never it never gets easier, because you just see that ramp and then you start increasing speed. You're like, okay, it's either we're gonna be okay, or we're not gonna be okay.
How dangerous is that?
With the Raptors,
It depends on how you're driving.
Most modern vehicles, you'll be fine. The truck might not.
Yeah, the truck won't be.
Yeah.
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 Oh.
So
Well, that's the
you're not
important
really
thing,
getting
yeah.
that much speed. I mean, at the most, you're getting, 50, 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But like impact when
Before-
it lands, like
when
it
you-
won't flip or roll or anything.
There's always that potential.
Yeah.
But if you, if you just go for it straight on, the chances of you flipping the truck are tiny.
Yeah.
Everyone, so we're some of the only Latinos that are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was some of the jokes that we were making when we started doing it. It
The
was like,
first event was us
yo, we
three.
made it. we made it, But it's one of those things that you go out more, you get to meet these people, and everyone shares that same Latino of like someone flipped, right? And it's like you run out there, they go out, are you okay? Everybody's okay. and everyone just starts hounding them. Like, you get pictures, you get. There was one guy. We'll show you the video. He jumped his truck and it broke, but the wheel was kicked in, so they posted it and like cropped it into like the Cars movie. And they're like, "Ka-chow," making fun of them. And the main thing is like, verify everybody's okay, and then we'll start making funny. And it's one of those things. If you go out there, similar to like the jiu-jitsu, you could get hurt. It's a possibility if something goes wrong.
Yeah, facts.
And it's like everyone
signed the waiver.
Yeah, you knew. You know what
They
you
make
signed
you
up
sign
for.
the waiver as soon as you
Oh
get
yeah,
to the
word.
truck.
Yeah.
Break your neck or something.
So here's our helmet, or my helmet that we had custom
Nice.
done for the truck. The Anime's Fire Force. It deals with firefighters that put out. The story behind that is firefighters that put out people. It's just people spontaneously combust. And, it's a different timeline, a different world. But the main thing was just they had the first responders behind it. They show the military, the police, the actual firefighters. And that was our thing, is we like to support that. My dad was in the Army. He's an Army veteran, and so we hold that to heart. And it's we like to say we support the police officers. He was also part of the police department with the local ISD, and it's like you get those bad apples that make the name bad. You get those certain comedians that it's like,
Well, the media,
why are you doing that?
The media, and
they focus on it. Yeah,
there's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like enemies to America. It's in their best interest to have people want to defund police and be paranoid and feel like they're out to get you. But I want to touch on something that you mentioned when you said when y'all were out there on the track for the first time, you're like, oh, I think we're the only Latinos out here. I feel like, bro, it's so powerful that like if we all kind of come from similar backgrounds, a lot of times just by human nature, and it's not just a Latino thing, it's just a people thing, you tend to just fall into your line of life, of like your side of town, your neighborhood, your primos, and like
you go with what you know.
You have access to certain things, and you're only tapping into certain communities depending on random opportunity pops up, right? So that's a great example of like, tapping into an interest and an activity and something where it don't matter if like your last name is Rodriguez, Garza Martinez, whatever, you're Smith, Johnson, Jones, you're from this place, that place, or your religion, that religion, so that's a great thing, bro, because
Everybody gets along over something.
and
mutual interest.
And you guys are able to really, more than anything, not like you're like, oh, breaking barriers, but there are a lot of people who might be listening to this, or y'all might meet or interact with, where they might not feel comfortable trying certain things or going certain places around certain people, only because they just ain't ever been and they don't know how they're going to be treated, or did they look at us weird? I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, but it kind of felt like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did they look at us like we were just here for this, or did they look at us like we were here like them,
Yeah.
And that happens all the time because people aren't mind readers. But it could be a powerful thing to where somebody tuning in or viewing this might be like, you know what, I need to take a note of that and be open to stuff and different things, because some people like for example, I'm a city boy, so like I'm not used to large murky bodies of water where I gotta get in and ain't like there ain't no chlorine, like if I can't see it, there ain't the edge I could hold, like if they don't got nice clean steps, like I'm used to being able to see where my foot goes as I'm getting out of this water, and I'm used to it not being slimy on the side and critters and things, so you know what I mean, but But
Juan and I are the exact opposite. You jump in and maybe we shouldn't be in here.
so y'all are like comfortable in lakes and rivers and
well, I would say
cenotes
so. I mean, because we both grew up. Actually, he grew up a little bit further out of the city, like right off of 1604. He's in the outskirts.
Yeah.
But I grew up here, and along with him at our grandma's house, and it's out in the country. So you get that different, like everybody's gonna help everybody. If you're tall enough to, we all come from Juan and I come from a family of mechanics. So it's like if you're tall enough to reach the pedal, you're moving cars around. You're helping your deals are outside working. You're gonna go hold the flashlight and get yelled at, for a few hours because you're not holding it right or something like that. But that's one of the things of like everyone, you're just gonna get down and dirty. You're wearing a suit and tie because you just came from something and you're outside. These guys always made fun of me because I'd wear dress shoes and then do everything.
Still wear dress shoes?
Like I've done races in the on the track in dress shoes. And it's like it's comfortable, And but that was something that we brought up earlier. Is just if someone listens to our story or they tune into the episode or they see some of the things that we do on our vlogs, and it pushes them to say, you know what, maybe I will try it. Maybe I will, do something. And it makes it all worth it because, as we said, the best things happen when you push yourself way out, far outside your comfort zone of, damn, I'm different, but we all enjoy the same thing. And that's where it came with the off-road scene. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like that out for everything, but it's one of those, you don't know until you try. So don't put it in your head of, oh, I'm not going to be accepted or I'm going to be different or I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But do it.
And as a parent, I try to instill that in my kids, you know what I mean? To where it's like, don't be like, not that I grew up feeling like, oh, I'm an inner city victim or nothing like that. But like, I want to make sure my kids don't get brainwashed by no teacher or nobody into thinking that, stuff's off limits or I can't or whatever. It's like, nah, we're not going to be walking around here with that limited mindset that I know I kind of like as a kid was like, hey, oh my God, hey, that's kind of diverse over there, fool. Like you're just used to, your neighborhood, your side of town. But definitely like as a parent, my wife and I, we try to make sure that the kids are, like we want them to travel. We want them to be able to, oh, you want to try that? You want to pursue that? Yeah, go ahead. I'm like, let's figure out what we got to do. Where do they teach classes? Like my 6-year-old, she's like, I want to, she's really into gymnastics, but she made this like special team where it's like a different coach and it's like longer practices and they're going to travel. And it's one of those where it's like, okay, we got another tour happening in the house. You know what I mean? We got to get more hotel rooms for this other thing where she's got to go compete. And they mentioned something about the Olympics, like a certain year, at a certain age, that's where they would like try out or whatever. She's like, I want to make it to the Olympics. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like, hell yeah, represent, you know what I mean? Represent USA, stay focused. Maybe it'll happen, maybe get a scholarship, something.
Yeah, yeah. And I love hearing that of like parents of just, you're going to do it, then let's do it. You put your heart into it. What our parents would always say is, don't half-ass it. If you're going to do it, do it. Go all out. That way, say she does get to do the tryouts for the Olympics. If you went all out and you didn't make it, you had nothing else to give, and that now you can work harder to try again the next time.
Hey, what if instead I'm there with a beer like, hey, get those ideas out of your head.
Yeah.
Nobody from where we come from. Like typical like Latino Hollywood movie, like, hey, nobody from where we come from.
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah. Why are you trying to do that? Yeah.
You're trying to leave us or what? You think you're better? Like crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, I mean you're in that fantasy world. Get out of that fantasy world.
Hey?
Yeah.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we've touched base on that on one of our episodes of just people will try to bring you down, and that's another reason why I chose to do like the anime on the truck was just it doesn't matter, and something I try to tell the younger generations, especially if they're out on the track with their parents or anything, and of course they see the truck and they're like, oh, it's all these colors and you have all these characters, and it's like, look, it doesn't matter what you do. You're going to have someone that's talking behind your back, that's saying it's not good, that's telling you shouldn't be doing that. You're going to have a hater, no matter if you're following your friend because you think it's cool and you want to be like them, or if you're doing your own thing, someone's going to hate. So you might as well just do whatever you want.
Yeah, facts.
And do it to the fullest, Don't if you're going to go for it, go for it. But don't hesitate and don't, well, what if this? Don't stand behind those what ifs. Just go out there and have fun, make some memories, make some mistakes, because hell, that's how you learn.
Yeah, live life, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the whole purpose behind RaptorStrike.
Yep.
So and to be honest with you, I've never actually, I think we've never been to a stand-up comedy show before until we went to see you, Juan, Luna, and I forget the fourth guy.
It was that young guy with he did the Lightning McQueen bed bit.
Okay.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I think it was my boy Danny Guerrero. Maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
There we go.
That was him.
There we go. So and like I said, as soon as y'all went on stage, we were laughing from beginning to end.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was a great show. And it was
another thing that was like, I wouldn't say it was out of our comfort zone because we didn't perform, but it was our first experience at a comedy show, we loved it.
Because we don't go. I mean, we don't usually go out. We don't go to the club. We don't go to the bar. That's not our scene. But it's like, when Juan told us and like told the family, I want to do comedy. It's like, I poked fun at him, but I'm like, go do it if you want to do it. Give it a shot. What can hurt? And I think he was at the Buckhorn Saloon, and he told me about it. This was years ago, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be performing here if you want to go." And I went, and he did his set. I'm like, okay. I laughed at some of them, but you just gotta work on delivery. I'm not one to talk because I forget every joke that our stuff is in the moment. Like we'll riff off of each other in the moment. But if I'm trying to remember a joke, it's not funny.
No, stand up is a whole other thing.
Yeah. And so then he continued. I went, and then he teamed up with you. Y'all started doing shows, and he told me, "Hey, I'm with Chingo Bling now. I'm going to be opening for him. I do the MC. If you want to come out, cool. If not." And I'm like, hell no, dude. We're gonna go. We're gonna go support. You're doing what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, I'm for it. And we went, and I enjoyed it from beginning to end.
Man, that's great to hear, bro.
So
that's great feedback, especially for it being your first time. Because the worst thing is when somebody gives stand-up comedy a bad name, and it turns into one of those things where it's like, hey, want to go check out the show? I've been to one. It's all right. Yeah. Because if that's your only reference, like live,
Yeah.
So
no, but I mean, we covered it in the last episode. But everyone that's in their own craft, you're always striving to do better and build on top of what you know. And we're excited for your next tour. Y'all are on it right now, and definitely, probably not this one because I don't know if there's still tickets available. But
yeah, they got some.
We'll definitely catch the next show because it's great. I mean, I enjoy it. And another thing we talked about was hearing the other Latino comics is, a lot of y'all's jokes. It's like you can relate to it. You're like, man, I thought that was just me, but there's other people. Yeah. There's a room full of people that we've all had this happen, or you have that deal, you have that,
and they're all laughing in unison.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, now you have that community. You're back to that community of all these people are laughing at the same joke because it's happened to them, and you all lived a similar life, and it just gets people feeling good. You can't go wrong when people are happy and laughing. So,
for real.
But I enjoyed it a lot, and
we're about
that's a huge blessing.
The hour, and I want to ask one more question.
Let's do it.
So Noah kind of went over this, and our biggest thing is, if you have a dream, do it. Don't care what no one says. Like with the anime Raptor, he's gotten some stuff for it, but he did it because he loved it. He jumped the truck. He did everything he wanted to do. What's your advice for people who want to do what they want to do but are scared to do it?
Well, I think, I guess a little bit of my 2 cents into that is like, you'd be surprised, like even something that seems so far-fetched and foreign, you know what I mean? But it pops in your head, and you're kind of like, the thought crosses your mind, like doing stand-up. On paper, it doesn't make any sense. You don't have to be like, why do you, like, in front of people, like out loud? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for a job, like that don't make no sense. Like wearing a grill, cowboy hat, shorts and boots, that don't make no sense. A lot of stuff doesn't make sense on paper. but you would surprise yourself if you just kind of like attempt and commit. Like, sky's the limit. There's no telling where this podcast could end up, you know. You'd be surprised. Like, once you kind of get on that path and get on the road, whether it's powerlifting or jiu-jitsu or anything, like, you'd be surprised. Like, before you know it, you look up and you're just like, oh shit, we're on episode number what? You know what I mean? It's like, we're up for the what award? You know, it's like, wait, who's gonna be our guest? You know, Elon Musk wants to come on here. You know, he's in San Antonio. He wants to go on RaptorStrike.
He just ends up on the south side of San Antonio somehow.
Yeah,
Let's go jump a Cybertruck.
I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. I mean, that fool. He's in Texas all the time because he's got SpaceX, and I think they're moving Twitter over here, headquarters.
Yeah,
Tesla's
there's
in
a lot
Austin.
of people.
Tesla's in
going to
Austin, off of 130.
He's like pretty much, I think, completely bouncing out of California.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I think Elon Musk is in Brownsville, Houston, and is he in Houston? I'm not sure.
I don't know about Houston.
No,
Austin.
he's in Austin and Brownsville. right
Austin
now.
and Brownsville. Yeah,
I think they're gonna move Twitter to Austin too.
Twitter to Austin.
That's what I heard.
Traffic's gonna be worse.
Remains to be seen.
More yuppies.
Yeah. That's why I like San Antonio. San Antonio's its own thing right now. They
That
haven't
is
gotten
great.
a lot of that.
That is great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very great. It's still San Antonio. Still San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's growing very, very fast.
Especially with the
All-
college.
Everything over here used to be cornfield.
Oh,
I don't know if you saw like all the buildings and all the little.
How long ago was it cornfield?
I'd say 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, in that short of time, it just blew up.
Yeah.
Apartment buildings.
Everything on that side of 410, on the outside of 410, was just cornfield.
Yeah, it was all
Traders Village wasn't there. The school wasn't there. The
What school?
apartments.
What school is it?
Medio Creek, the elementary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Corn.
yeah,
Yeah.
all
And then
cornfield.
even by the school, A&M San Antonio, that one's a new university here. There's houses, there's apartments. Like, it doesn't even look when me and Noah went to college there, I had graduated from there. He focused on working, and that was all fields.
He means I dropped out.
He focused on working.
He made it sound
You
nice.
focused on working.
He pivoted.
He took a different path.
Yeah.
I did the same thing you did with the jiu-jitsu. I'm like, look, man, we started at the same spot. You graduated. You got your belt.
Yeah, no,
Started
all that
hanging
was
with the wrong
fields.
crowd. I started smoking weed.
Yeah, no, it's just time moves very, very fast, and the development of everything just explodes. And it's the same for when you're pursuing your passion. As things just explode out of nowhere. And we've noticed that with pursuing this and putting out episodes, and of course we have our own day jobs, but they handle all the editing, and it's just we get the video out when we can because we're busy. There's no other way to put it. But
There's only so many hours in a day. I spend 8 of them working.
Yeah. I never understood that until we started doing this, and it's like and I work right now. I'm in Austin, like Monday through Friday. Right now I have a week off, but Monday through Friday I'm in Austin. I've lived there for the past 9 months, just doing work out there. But it's come home after 8 to 10 hours, try to go to the gym, and then get back on editing. And by the time you know it, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you wake up for 6 the next day.
Yeah.
There's just not enough time in the day.
Grind.
Oh yeah.
Chat GPT, fool. Good.
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, this is the RaptorStrike podcast, a very special episode number 45. We want to thank Chingo Bling for taking time off from his tour
Thank you
to
guys.
come out and sit down
Thank
with
you so
us and
much.
talk.
Episode 4/5.
Yeah. We wish you break a leg up on y'all's tour.
Thank you, man.
Y'all do a great job. Just keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it. For those of y'all watching and listening, you've had the last hour to do absolutely anything else on the planet, and you decided to spend them here with us, and we greatly appreciate that. Everything that we do would not be possible without y'all's support. So again, I leave you with this. Be cool. Stay humble. We'll see y'all guys next week.
Later.
Yeet.
If you ever have an issue, do not call AAA. Call RaptorStrike. Puro RaptorStrike aquí, carnal. And we got the light holder, Juan. Juan's holding the light.
Bad job of holding it.
Trying to take my job, ese.